Coaching Academy. And today we're going to be talking about what I think is a pandemic, is a real problem, at least within the United States, and that is anxiety. So, we're going to have a talk about anxiety. What's the root? How can we control this? How can we overcome this? And then I'm going to leave you with something special that I've created that I'm really excited to share with you today. So, when we're talking about anxiety, I do want to preface this with I'm talking about all of the mental creation of anxiety. So there is the possibility that people have anxiety because of a nutritional imbalance, something physiological going on in terms of nutrients, minerals, etc. But I'm talking about what most of us are walking around doing, and that is creating it all in our minds. So anxiety kicking up a physical reaction, an emotional reaction because of a thought. And the exciting news is that if it all boils down to a thought, then you have total control over overcoming your anxiety because you have total control over your thoughts. And if you don't, I've done a couple of lives in previous weeks that you can tune into to start to gain control over your thoughts so you feel a little bit more or a lot more powerful in your life. So I don't know why, but society, and we're all made up of society, societally has normalized this mindset, this way of operating. So we've normalized walking around in suffering. Why are we doing that? So let's bring some light on this today that anxiety is not a normal state of mind. It's not a normal state of mind. Now, if you're getting something out of being anxious, then that's going to be the pull to keep that cycle, that pattern, that habit going. But if you are listening today, you're watching today, and you're like, I'm so sick and tired of feeling this way, then you're going to have a solution today because it is something you have control over. It's completely avoidable. So let's talk about the root. How do we get to feeling anxious? Anxiety boils down to a thought or a set of thoughts that you're having. And that thought might be running in the backdrop of your mind. You may not even be aware that that thought is happening until you're really conscious about every thought. So that thought is happening, and that is causing a physical reaction in your body and lots of physical reactions. And each of us that might experience anxiety might have a few different ones. So we've got jitteriness, we have stomach ache, feeling like you're going to vomit, sweating, perspiration. You can comment if you've got another physical reaction that you can associate to feeling anxious. Maybe that'll help other people be able to identify, oh, when I feel that way in my body, that means I'm in anxious mindset. So we have these physical reactions that happen in the body, and then it goes further into our emotional body, our emotions. And some ways to know you're anxious emotionally is if you become short, if that's not your MO, you're short, you're impatient, you hide, you're just running away and hiding, you lash out at people. So if these aren't your norms, then you're going to know, okay, when I'm in this emotional state, let me see if I feel anxious. Let me go back to that OG thought, that original thought. And so that is how you become more powerful in overcoming anxiety is utilizing your physical symptoms and your emotional symptoms to bring awareness, to shine a light that, oh, when I feel this way, I am in anxious mindset. And then you can trace back to the thought. Now, this is a process, and you can reach out if you need help with that, but you can trace back to that OG thought and you can start to repattern those thoughts. And that takes a while to do. But in the moment, what you can do is once you realize, oh, I'm feeling jittery, or, ooh, I just lashed out at somebody, you could just stop and take some breaths and realize I'm in anxious mindset. Take some deep breaths. And whatever mindset you'd like to go into next, let's say peace or clarity, make a seed thought right then and there. So you stop, you realize, oh, I'm jittery, I'm in anxious mind. You stop, you take some deep breaths, And then you say to yourself a few times, like, I am peace. I receive peace, or I am clear. My mind is clear. You're planting a new seed thought to replace whatever that anxious thought was before you had the feelings of feeling anxious. And so you're moving away from this place of anxiousness into a place that you want to be in, whatever the mindset is that you want. So I invite you to start becoming aware of these loops. There's a thought, then there's something that happens in your body, and then there's something that happens in your emotions. And both that physical and emotional reaction can be the light that shines that brings awareness. Oh, I'm in anxious mindset. And then you can do something. And that something right away is stop and breathe so you don't let that thought perpetuate. And then you replace it with a new seed thought that's more aligned with where you want to be, how you want to feel. So, when I'm coaching, and this is for anxiety or anything else, there's really three keys to change. You've got to have a want. So, when we're talking about anxiety, if you're not willing to move from that anxious state and work on yourself to move into clarity, to peace, to calm, to joy, fulfillment, happiness, those are all accessible at any moment for you. If you're not willing to, that means that you're getting something out of feeling anxious. So I would invite you to look into that. What am I getting out of this? I'm resistant in wanting to move away from it. So you must be getting something out of it. So there has to be this desire to change. Number two, you've got to be willing to practice something new. You've got to be willing to reprioritize your day. You've got to be willing to let go of some of the things that you've been doing during your day or the way you've been thinking and replace it with tools that are more aligned with where you want to go and who you want to be and how you want to feel. And so that third one is holding yourself accountable. Accountability is key. This requires inner discipline in order to practice these new tools to hold yourself accountable in the moment when you feel jittery or when you feel like you're lashing out, to stop. Don't perpetuate that cycle anymore. And holding yourself accountable is that third key. Why am I even talking about this today? Have you noticed that anxiety drains you? It takes all of your energy. You're exhausted. Why would you give in to something, self-induced something that would steal all your energy? It's stealing your peace, your clarity. It's stealing the ability to focus. If you're at work or at home, start to recognize all the ways that you are not staying focused, you're not staying present. I hear this every day with my clients, this inability to focus. There are tools that you can use, but you have to hold yourself accountable to practice them. And ask yourself, why would I want to move through my day any other way? Why are you moving through your day anxious? So we want to go back to that OG thought. Originally, we want to go back to the original thought. And that takes a little bit more work. But when you start to go back to that original thought, you can see that most of the time, these thoughts are based in worry, they're based in fear. Worry and fear, thought based. So we are not aligned with what we truly want to do. How does that look like in day-to-day life? You're saying yes when you really want to say no. The inside of you wants to say no. The head, the mouth is saying yes. You're agreeing to something that doesn't feel good. Maybe you want to speak up about something that felt hurtful, but you're pushing it down inside. So the outside and the head part is not aligned with the inside part, the intuition and the gut part. So you are misaligned. And when we're not aligned, we have these thoughts that show up as anxious. So you could think about this, that the opposite of anxious is aligned. And when you start listening to your gut, listening to your heart and your intuition, and moving in the place that feels good inside, where things are resolved because you honored yourself, anxiety has no place to live. It's when we are misaligned in our head and our heart, our head and our gut with the intuition, that anxiety has space because you start to have the thoughts. Those thoughts are a result of you being misaligned in your being. And if you need more explanation on that, please write a comment. I take questions. After this live, I will answer any questions you have that you put in the comments. So we want to work towards alignment. Now, this takes time. So, any kind of change from this habit, this cycle you've been in, it takes time. So, be patient with yourself, but also hold yourself accountable, persevere, get that inner fire going that, hey, no matter what, I want this anxiety to be gone because you have total control over that. And as we wrap up today, I'm really excited to offer you a discount on my mini course, 3 ways to bust through anxiety and stress. And this is not your average self paced mini course where you have to spend time watching a bunch of videos. I am giving you an AM routine that's going to shift you out of anxiety, get you set for the day. I'm giving you a short, powerful PM routine before you go to bed at night. There's a couple of things you can do to let the day go and prepare yourself for good sleep and a great day tomorrow. I'm giving you a guided meditation that isn't seen anywhere else. It's going to help you start to take control over your thoughts, and you'll get a mantra worksheet. So these simple, powerful tools work. I've included a link in this Facebook Live, this YouTube Live, this LinkedIn Live, wherever you're tuning in. And please let me know in the comments if this helped you today. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're working your way towards alignment, and I'll see you next time.